Run mad. It seems to sharpen his edge of sorts, and though his competitors are oftentimes critical of his tactics, one cannot question Greg Foster's effectiveness. Greg has had in the center of that track. It is Greg Foster and Cletus Clark in lane one, running side by side.
Very fine field here. This was very good, and it was a close finish between Cletus Clark and Greg Foster.
So Foster and Clark advanced to the finals, and then in lane two, Evelyn Ashford, it was from the Soviet Union, Igor Kasanov and Tonie Campbell.
Tonie Campbell usually gets a good start. It's just a matter of keeping his form and getting over the hurdles, snapping his foot down.
Al Campbell, he won the World Indoor Championship at 60-meter hurdles last year, and Igor Kasanov of the Soviet Union, his best year ever was last year. So those two have advanced to the finals, and that is where we stand.
Phil, 4 of the top 8 hurdlers in the world last year, rated by Track and Field News, are on the starting line. Only 4 at each final because the tunnel is too narrow to accommodate more runners on the sprint straightaway.
And there is four-time world champ Greg Foster. He has drawn lane one, not his favorite lane.
So you'd like to have the other athletes around you to feel their energy on either side of you.
In lane two, Tonie Campbell. He and Greg had words last week in Fairfax, Virginia.
Foster, the world outdoor champion. That man, the world indoor champion.
And there you're looking at the man who gave Greg Foster his only defeat this year. It happened 2 weeks ago in Dallas.
Watch out, Cletus Clark's after your job, broadcasting major.
Igor Kasanov of the Soviet Union.
5th in the World Championships last year. There he is, Greg Foster, body by Chippendale.
Well, Evelyn, you have been right where Greg Foster stands so many times. What goes through your mind mere seconds before race?
This is the worst time. There's so much chatter going on in your mind. You're thinking about what you have to do, when you have to do it, and hoping and praying that you get to that finish line first.
1987 Soviet 110-meter hurdle champion.
Now there is Cletus Clark. Last year finished second in the Nationals, but failed to make the World Championship team. And Tonie Campbell, there is no love lost between he and the world champion.
Boy, that's true. You know, this is an event that America dominates. We should do so well in so many other events, wishfully thinking. Almost half of the top 50 athletes in the world, high hurdlers, are Americans based on time last year.
I remember Tonie Campbell as a sophomore at USC. They quickly established the nickname the Happy Kid because of his disposition. Everybody liked Tonie Campbell. There are the lane assignments as you look down from the finish line at the field. In lane one, Greg Foster. Lane two, Tonie Campbell. Lane three, Cletus Clark. And lane four, from the Soviet Union, Igor Kasanov.
This fourth run at 5:40. He successfully negotiated.
Keep in mind, Foster's only loss indoor this year was to Cletus Clark. It is Foster and Campbell. They are out like a shot. And Greg Foster has run to victory.
Certainly a fair start, Evelyn. I mean, everybody got out pretty evenly, and then it was the power and strength of Foster, I think.
Greg has been so sharp this year. I trained with him, and he's just sharp. He's sharper than I've ever seen him.
60 meters this race, 65 yards, 1 foot in just a matter of inches as they go over 5 hurdles, each 3.5 feet high.
Evelyn, I talked early on about Greg Foster. He loves to run mad. I suppose some competitors are simply like that.
Yes, I've known Greg for a long time. He has to get himself fired up that way. Some people are like that.
If you will direct your attention, please, to the long jump.
Watch the hurdle here, out evenly, and measure the steps that come down most quickly here. Foster a little quicker over the hurdles. Campbell is good indoors, but a little better outdoors, as everybody's having problems in the second half of the race. Watch the form here. The upper body should not move that much. The head does, but the upper body stays pretty firm. You can see the strength of Foster. There's weights in the back of those hurdles to keep them upright, and he still knocks them over and wins the race at 6'3", 190 pounds.
Yeah, the only question for Greg Foster is the question of motivation. He had it tonight. White Stones is standing by with Greg.
Greg, that's not one of your favorite lane draws, if I'm not mistaken.
No, well, it's good here because it's moved over a little bit. It's not too far to the edge, too close to the edge. It's not too bad.
It looked a little shaky in the middle of the race. Did you have some technical problems?
Right now, really, I think I got spiked. I got spiked in the knee, and I think I just, Tony and I got a little bit too close to one another and just bumped each other, I think.
760, that's not a particularly impressive time for you. How did you feel about the race?
Well, I felt good in the wind, with the wind. You know, I'm sitting here. I think I'm worried too much about tomorrow. I got a late flight tonight, and I think I'm really a little bit too worried about tomorrow instead of keep my mind on what I have to do today. So,
what about indoor nationals next week?
Hopefully I'll be ready for it. Right now I'm getting ready to go down to Florida, do Superstars down there, and hopefully I won't get too fatigued and too tired to run next weekend.
Good luck in Florida and good luck next week in New York.
Thanks, Dwight. Thanks very much.
Greg Foster, he'll take part in the Superstars. He certainly lives up to that moniker. He is indeed a superstar himself.